welcome to my channel, Amongst Outs. If you're new here, my name is Samantha. In today's video, I just wanted to have a little chat with you guys about our new schedule and some changes that we are making in quarter 3 that are different from quarter 1 and 2 in 2020 and what it will look like for hopefully 3 and 4 in 2021 before we end out our school year. If you guys like these kinds of videos, please hit that like button. Also, please subscribe if you aren't already subscribed to my channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. I will show you first the schedule of my youngest. This was her schedule, her old schedule, her previous schedule, and this is what her new schedule looks like now. And so the biggest difference that I can tell you that I've made on here is I've taken off in the first row up here in each one of my kids' schedules for each day, I had on there blocked off morning time at snack from 9 to 11. So the biggest change that I've made is I've just made a homeschool morning flow chart, and this I will have posted up on the cabinet next to our kitchen table. And so now they know, like, instead of looking at their schedule and seeing morning time and me having to repeatedly tell them what that is, now they have a full flow here. And so I'll just go over with you what our morning time is going to look like from now on. So the very first thing that we're going to do it on a loop, and it's going to be a loop of devotionals, Bible studies, and scripture. So it might be that we do one devotional book or one Bible study or 1 week of scripture writing the first week, or we might change every day. I haven't quite decided, but I think that it also gives me some flexibility just in case I'm running behind on my whole workout, Bible, and my Bible time and getting ready for the morning. If I'm running late, then I can always change this to them doing like a devotional or doing scripture writing instead of the Bible study that we'll be doing as a family. So that is the very first thing that we're going to have in the morning to start off our day. And then we're going to go into CC memory. So that would be on Mondays and Wednesdays. We're going to do CC videos and songs to help with our memory work. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to read some of the book. We're going to read the books that we have that pair with our history for each week. So that is what that is what will come after devotionals, Bible study, scripture. Every day will be CC related. And then from there, we're going to go into our Gather Round Homeschool. And so for the month of January, probably January and February, because we tend to stretch out the Gather Round units just so that there's less pressure on getting them done quickly. It allows us to do less work in a day to make it more doable as part of our morning time. So I am going to be reducing the amount of reading that I'm actually going to read out of the book to my kids, and that will be done on Mondays. And then on Tuesdays, they'll do the work that is for that lesson. And so depending on how long the reading takes, they might be able to do half of the reading on the first day and then finish the second, or they might be able to do half of the work the day that I read, or if there's not enough time, they can just wait till the next day to do all of the work. And so then Wednesday will also be a reading day, and then Thursday a work day. So this means that instead of getting, the 4 to 5 lessons done in a week, we only get 2 lessons in a week, and that's totally fine. So this will be for Monday and February, we'll be in the human body unit. And then I think after human body, we are going into South America. So I will be prepping that here soon, and I'll be sure to share with you guys all of the readers that we decide to go with for that unit. So stay tuned for that. So then after the Gather Round Homeschool is when my kids, so I have here where it says read aloud, but while I'm reading is when my kids are going to do their loop. So we are now changing their spelling and their handwriting to be a loop. I considered doing away with spelling, you see, but that idea doesn't fly too well with my husband on not completing a curriculum or not using something that we've already purchased. So we're going to go ahead and finish that out for this year. And what we're going to do is we're going to pair that with handwriting. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, they'll do handwriting from the Good and the Beautiful. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they'll do their spelling from Spelling You See. And then while they're doing those, I will read out of our read aloud. And so then after read aloud and handwriting or spelling, then we will go into a break. And that is like the yellow here. And during that break is whenever they are going to just move around, rest their brains a little bit, clean up the area, have a snack, and use the bathroom, do all of those things that they need to do downstairs to clean it up and just get the whole area reset before we go upstairs. Because that, after read aloud, spelling, handwriting, we kind of just go into snack and then it's going upstairs. So they'll take a break, get everything reset, cleaned up, have a snack, and then we will move on upstairs for our independent subjects. And so like I said, that is then where this schedule is going to come into play. So before, that first block, like I already mentioned, had just a generic morning time, but they never, they didn't really know. I would always have to tell them, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? So now it's posted. They know exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it and what's next and when it comes up. So we have all of that, and this will stay posted in the kitchen. And then, so I'll just go you through what their old schedules look like first, and then I'll tell you what is on their new schedule. So after morning time snack and all of that, what my youngest used to do is she would go into math, and then she would do reading. So that would be read 2 Bob books to me, and then she would do spelling, and then she would go into geography or her critical and creative depending on the day. Then we would go into language lessons, then CC practice, and then I had in here blocked out for all about reading, but we haven't started that yet. And so instead she would go into STEAM. And at the very bottom here, I have listed all of their STEAM options that they can do. And so each one of them has a different list to pick from, and it's at the bottom of each one of their schedules. So that's what her schedule said before. But now we are actually going to be starting all about reading, and so I'll just tell you what her new schedule is going to look like. So reading is her least favorite subject, and so I found that putting it right after language lessons, this is kind of why we never started all about reading before. One, she wasn't really ready for the level that I got her, but she's there now, but I still was hesitant to start it because she was kind of done with the day after language lessons for living education. So what I've done now is that's the very first thing that she's going to do. So when we all go upstairs, and you'll also notice, or maybe not, but in their old schedule, I left it open. So there was no time or anything because it was truly a flow. But leaving it that open-ended for my kids doesn't work, I've learned. And so now, while it is still a flow, I have set some parameters here around about how long each subject should take them. If they're in the middle of a lesson and they don't want to stop, I'll let them finish it out. But if they're in the middle of a lesson and the time comes up and they're ready to be done, they can be done and start it back up tomorrow. So I'm not saying that they have to get their entire lesson done in this time, but I want them to know that I want them to be done at this time unless they really want to finish it out. Then they can go overtime. So going overtime is totally fine, but this is just like a guideline. So every day when we very first start, her very first subject around 11 o'clock is going to be all about reading. That is the first thing that we're going to start off with because it is her hardest subject. And it works different for all kids. Some kids you might want to start off by giving them something that they enjoy because then like their day gets better. That's not how she works. She works by just getting things done and then getting to the reward at the end. So we're going to start off with getting her all about reading in. And I'm not going to keep it any longer than 30 minutes. So wherever we're at 30 minutes, we're going to be done. And so then she does really enjoy math. And so that will be her next subject. Something for her to look forward to after something that she didn't enjoy so much. So at 11:30 is when she will start math. So by noon, she would have already done her all about reading and her all about math. And so at 12 o'clock, I'm putting in here a brain break because while she does enjoy math, I know that reading would probably have put some stress on her. Math will be like a highlight, and then I will give her a break. So I have built in here a brain break for her, and then I will have things that she can choose from to do that she'll know ahead of time. And so then I do require all of my kids to read for at least a bare minimum of 20 minutes a day inside of our schedule. The readings that I assign to them. Now my kids do a lot of reading outside of that because they have other books that they would rather pick and choose on their own that they're going to read. But however, they are required to read 20 minutes of something that I have assigned to them. And so for her, that's going to come after her brain break. So she can read Bob books. So I just put right here Bob books, but she has other early readers and other types of readers that she can pick from as well. And so she'll read it here for 20 minutes after her brain break. And her brain break is only about 10 minutes. That's really all she needs. And so brain break, Bob books, and then at 12:30 it's lunch. And so I thought that putting 12:30 lunch was really important for us because otherwise we eat between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock and sometimes not until 2:30. And I'm really wanting to make that earlier for my kids. So lunch will be at 12:30. And then she's going to go into her last subject, which will be, it'll switch. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, she will do half of the week's. So on Monday, she'll do half of the week's worth of work in her language lessons. And then on Wednesday, she'll do the other half because she really enjoys those lessons. And we usually do about 2 to 3 a day anyway. And so we'll do language lessons for living education on Monday and Wednesday. And then on Tuesday, she will do the work from her critical and creative for the week. And then on Thursday, she will do her geography. And then after all of that, and that starts at 1 o'clock. And so then here at the very end, I don't have a start time, but they just have to know that as soon as all of their work is done, they can start picking what they want to do from their STEAM options. And that is down here. So all of her STEAM, and then there are her options. So that is what a week schedule for my 6-year-old is going to look like. So now let's move to my 8-year-old schedule, and we'll go through the differences and the changes for her as well. Which there aren't really very many, but there were some things that I wanted to add in on sort of a loop that she hasn't been currently doing. So I do want to get more of the stuff that we have for them to do. I want to start implementing that in some way without overloading them. So again, just like with her, I took off that first row of morning time, and then she used to go into doing her Mazda's literature and then right into spelling. And then she would go into on Mondays and Wednesdays, she would go into geography and her word roots. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, she had critical and creative. And then she would go into her language lessons for living education, which was paired with reading for 20 minutes. And then she had her math, and then CC practice, and typing, and then STEAM. And so her schedule was pretty loaded. And I've kind of condensed it. And she's still doing all of the same things, but broken up now to not make it so overwhelming for her. So now her new schedule, again, it's all time-based. Over here is, again, like a guideline of the time. And so starting at 11, the first thing that she's going to do is she's going to jump on the computer and do her math on teaching textbooks. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays is when she will do her word roots. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, she'll do her cursive logic, which she's had this book all school year, and she hasn't even had a chance to get into it yet. And she's really, she is doing cursive with the Good and the Beautiful, but she has been wanting more practice for cursive. So I figured this was just an easy way for me to go ahead and add it in and get her that more cursive practice that she's looking for. So then again on here, they are no longer going to be doing their Mazdas and language lessons every day of the week. So now her as well, she's doing language lessons on Monday and Wednesday, and then she'll do her Mazda's literature on Tuesday and Thursday. And so then just like with my youngest, she has lunch at 12:30. And then at 1 o'clock, she will do her critical and creative on Monday and Wednesday. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, she has her geography. And then at 1:20 is where she will then get her 20 minutes of reading in before she goes into her STEAM. And that's that. That's her schedule there. And again, all of her STEAM options are down there. Like, they have some overlapping STEAM options, but they all, between the three of them, they have overlapping interests, but they don't all overlap the same. So my son wants nothing to do with art, where my two girls want everything to do with art. My youngest is interested in, like, she has her Osmos, but the other two don't have that. They like to do Scratch. My son has the Kano. So there's just different things that they all do. So I went ahead and put that there so that they know what they could choose from. So I think that she's going to enjoy this schedule a lot more because she's still doing everything, but she's not doing everything every day, which I think was my biggest problem the first half of the year, and just a trial that I had to go through and a learning experience that we had to go through in order to figure that out. So just know that your schedule is probably not going to be perfect at first. And if you're coming out of public school like we are, you're probably going to overload your kids in the beginning, just because it's what y'all are used to doing, used to seeing, and just hang on, be patient. It'll all work out for you. And I don't even know how well this schedule is going to work, but I'm hoping it's going to work better than our first one. Okay, so now let's go into my son. So here is his old schedule. Again, that first row was all morning time that I've taken out. So this is what his schedule before looked like. He also did amongstouts, literature, and spelling first, just like my daughter, and then he would go into math, and then he had language lessons and reading, and then he did his CC practice before doing his IEW, and then on Mondays and Wednesdays he had geography, and Tuesdays and Thursdays he had critical and creative, and then last thing of the day was his STEAM. So that was his old schedule, and so now here's his new schedule, which he is still doing IEW and math all week. And that's just because the way that the method of IEW, it goes throughout the whole week, and that method seems to work really well for us, and I'm not willing to change that. So that's going to stay weekly, or that's going to stay every day, or Monday through Thursday, because the other thing that I need to mention is our CC Community Day is on Fridays. That's why I'm not mentioning any work on Friday, in case you didn't already know that we were part of a CC community. So CC Day is on Friday, so we don't do any work outside of our CC Day. Okay, so his new schedule is, the first thing that he's going to start off with is IEW. And I'm doing that just because it used to be, he used to do it before going into his critical and creative, but he never made it into critical and creative because it was at the end of the day, and I a lot of times was also like having to deal with my 2-year-old and whatever he had going on, and our IEW lessons were just lasting way too long between, going back and forth between my 2-year-old and him. So now if I do that first thing in the first part of his schedule, my youngest should be like upstairs either playing with an activity, or he should already be down for a nap. So that will make it a lot easier. And like I said, now that we have the time on here, whatever he gets done, and we'll just keep going into the next day until we're done. As long as his paper is written by Thursday, he should be fine. So his first subject, IEW, and then he's going to go downstairs, get on the computer for math on teaching textbooks. And then on Monday and Wednesday, he has language lessons. And then Tuesday and Thursday, he has amongstouts. And then again at 12:30, we are all having lunch. And then at 1 o'clock, he will have critical and creative on Monday and Wednesday, and geography on Tuesday and Thursday. And then just like my daughter, at 1:20, he will do his read for 20 minutes, and then he has his STEAM after all of his work is done. And so I also left room at the end of the day. So say like they decided to move on to the next subject, but like especially for him, say he decided to move on, 11:30 came and he was just done with working on IEW, but he still wanted to get something done, but like his brain capacity just can't at the moment. There's still lots of time at the end of the day, considering their day is going to be over at about 1:40. My 2 oldest kids, there's still time at the end of the day to be able to go back and finish whatever it was they wanted to finish, but they needed a break from it. So before, our days were actually really long. I think we would finish our days at like 3 o'clock, 3:30. Our days were quite long. So because there was, you know, it was open-ended. It was just a flow. I didn't have any guidelines as far as time goes. They messed around a lot. They dragged on, and they took their time on every subject before they would get to the next subject. So now, like, they know, 11, I only have 30 minutes. Let me get this done. And so I think that I won't be rushing them, but I'm going to make it to where they're using their time more effectively and being way more time efficient and managing their schedule better. So there you have it, guys. Those are the changes that I've made for all three of my kids, as well as for our morning homeschool morning time. And so if you guys like this video, please hit that like button. And also, if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And down in the comments, let me know if you have had to make changes in your schedules recently. Maybe what worked, what didn't work, or if you have some things that you're seeing are holes in my schedule, and maybe you have some ideas on what I need to change. I'm always looking for feedback from people who have been doing this longer than me. So never hesitate to tell me what your ideas are or what your opinions are, because I really do read those and appreciate all of your feedback. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.